for the viewers, this is a series that will go through players and personalities of people who have played throughout the Junior A Whitby Warriors organization throughout the years. What we're going to be talking about today is taking the time to talk about the 2013 Minto Cup team and involving all their key components and events that transpired throughout that season. But the three main components that were a part of that team are Riley O'Connor, Dan Littner, and Ryan Keenan. All three of these players right now are currently in the NLL. Riley playing for the New England Black Wolves, Dan Littner for the Buffalo Bandits, and Ryan Keenan for the Saskatchewan Rush. Welcome to the series, guys. I'm very excited to host this interview, and I hope you guys get a lot out of it as much as I do. And I'm really looking forward to you guys enjoying this. So, to start off the bat, we are going to talk about some general questions about lacrosse and then get into the 2013 season in a little bit more detail. So, all these questions pertain to all of you, and Riley, you can start first. Sure. Why do you play lacrosse?
I play lacrosse because I love it. I have a deep passion for it. And I just enjoy to this day just going out and playing. And then what I kind of, love the most is just the memories I've created. With the top ones being the Minto Cups in my Whitby days, and more importantly, the relationships and the best friends that I have from this game, especially the two on this call with me. So
nice.
That's why I love the game, and I hope to play and coach and be around as much as I can.
Nice. Dan?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hear the question. It chopped out, but by the sounds of Riley's answer there, I think you're asking why we're playing lacrosse.
Yeah. What's the reason? Yeah. What's the reason that you play?
Much like Riley, it was a sport that I picked up and loved from an early age, and continued to, to build relationships and, meet a ton of people through it. So, it allows me again to keep moving. A lot of us lacrosse players don't play for the money per se. It's more for the love of it. So a lot of it comes with the camaraderie and all that type of stuff. Like Riley said, a lot of the good buddies I have nowadays are because of the game, and I'll be grateful for that forever for sure. So that's realistically why I'm still playing. It's something that I thoroughly enjoy, and I have the passion for it, and hopefully I can play it as long as my body will let me. But it has been thrown around a little bit here and there. But what was the second part of that question? Was there?
No, that's it. Just why do you play lacrosse? You answered it perfectly. Thanks.
There you go.
Ryan?
A lot of what these guys are saying. Lacrosse has been kind of part of my life since I can remember, playing since I was 3. And you kind of just, as you grow up playing the game and growing into it and loving it, just kind of becomes part of your life. And now it's like these guys are talking about all the memories you've had, the friendships you've made. It's kind of, a bit of a brotherhood. And, we're fortunate that we're able to continue playing into our, adult lives here and continue to compete and try and win championships and build on those relationships we've built our whole lives.
Nice. Next question for you guys. What has influenced you in lacrosse? So, Riley, go.
I can start. I think what's influenced me is a lot of great role models. Growing up in Whitby, we were pretty lucky. Watching the Junior A Warriors, watching the Redmen, Toronto Rock. So just having some great, local players to watch and cheer for and learn from has been awesome. And then as I've gotten older, my parents are obviously big influences with my dad pretty involved in the game. And then two other kind of key people in my life would be Ryan's dad, obviously, Coach K, Derek Keenan, coached me every other year growing up when I got to play with Rye, and then all throughout the Junior A career. And then just been lucky enough to play for some other and work alongside some other great people. But I've been very lucky to have some pretty special people influence me.
Nice.
I guess I'll go. we're gonna have a lot of the same answers here. I mean, we were fortunate enough to grow up and play in Whitby, which over the last 10, 20 years has been a pretty a pretty powerful program. We've got to watch guys like Steve Toll, Sean Williams, all those guys grow up in the Redmond organization. Toller was my I guess my idol growing up from a lacrosse perspective. I always tried to semi-mimic myself after him, but just having those influences and being able to go and watch those games on a weekly basis was awesome. And then just the area we grew up in, right? Like Whitby, has the festival going on every year. It just seems to be where a lot of folks flock to for lacrosse, and it's just fun to be there. You get to play a game in front of all the people there too. It's exciting. But yeah, I think we were just fortunate enough to be involved in an organization like Whitby and grow up in the area, with a lot of great lacrosse players that are still playing today or have finished up and are still a part of the game from a coaching perspective. And, Riley nailed it. Like Ryan's dad was a huge influence on all of us. We were lucky to have him as a coach, as much as him and I had a little bit of a love-hate relationship there, but no, he's probably the best coach I've ever had. And, we were lucky to have him. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Nice. Ryan?
Yeah, like these guys touched on, obviously I was pretty fortunate growing up, having my pops there as with his standing in the game and his career and his kind of legacy as well, coaching. I was pretty fortunate to grow up with that as part of my game. Obviously there was some, it's not easy as well dealing with that, but it's overall just I was very fortunate. So that would be the biggest influence. And then, also with that, being able to, be a ball boy and be around the Toronto Rock growing up when he was an assistant coach was huge for me and kind of my passion for the game, watching guys like, Colin Doyle and Josh Sanderson, guys I looked up to when I was around the arena at that time was definitely a big part of my my kind of passion for the game and growing up, continuing to play it.
Nice. You guys have kind of already answered this, but in case I didn't catch it, when did all of you start playing lacrosse?
I started really young. I would say I started when I was 4 or 5. I can't recall, but I know I started really young.
Yeah, that'd be similar for me. I think it was, that was the first sport maybe I would have picked up, but in around that 3, 4, 5 age group was me for sure.
Yeah, same with me, probably 3 or 4.
Nice. Now this question pertains to your whole career in lacrosse, not just junior. What has been your biggest accomplishment in lacrosse?
I'll start. I think I wouldn't pinpoint just one. I think I look, when I talk about the relationships and the memories, I feel like there's so many great ones that it'd be kind of wouldn't do it justice just to say one. I do think the Minto Cups are at the top of the list, just in terms of what makes that so special is we won. The Minto Cup's probably the hardest championship in all of lacrosse to win, and did it with, my best friends, guys that we competed our whole lives growing up. And now another great memory was getting drafted to the NLL, obviously, and my family being there with me and cherishing that moment that happened at Oakville at the track. But the thing about the Minto Cups is that, we had such a great team. We grew up, living, playing together. And then when you go pro, you kind of go off to your own teams, right? And I think Ryan's the only one here who's won a NLL title, but it is amazing, but in a sense, it's not exactly the same unless you've got a really special team with a special brotherhood. It's guys from all over, where we grew our whole lives chasing that, and we went out and did it. So I would say the Minto Cups are right at the top of the list.
Nice.
Light just kicked on for me here, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in my career that I feel like I'm pretty proud of. But, the Minto Cups are up there for sure. Being a part of the 2011 and 2013 teams were were awesome. You get to grow up, playing for championships and playing with these guys your whole lives, like Riley said. And I think it was really special just because, you get some teams that, maybe you get some guys from all over the place and all that good stuff. We were all Whitby guys for the most part. We grew up in the organization and play with each other, and we were able to go out and do it. Obviously getting drafted as well is what you drive to do as a minor lacrosse player, to get to the highest level. And, that was super special, and doing that, with, my family there, and, getting drafted with a couple of my best buddies like Chad Tutton and all those guys on the same night was awesome. And also, getting to represent Canada with the U19 team. Riley and I got a chance to do that out in Finland in 2012, and that was pretty special for me. That was the only time I've gotten to kind of represent Canada at any level. So that was a special moment for myself as well.
Nice. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one, right? But definitely when you look back at the Minto in 2013, and that was the one I was kind of a part of. I was only on the team briefly for 2011 season. So that one, when you grind so much throughout a whole season, and the regular season and playoffs, and getting to that point, just trying to stay healthy and keep your team together, it's definitely the toughest championship to win, I'd say, in lacrosse. So that was pretty special to do it with my buddies here and in such a close knit, tight knit team. And then obviously being able to win an NLL championship is kind of the peak of what we're growing up trying to do. So that was pretty special for me. And I also like what Riley said about getting drafted, right? That's kind of that kind of day is kind of a whirlwind, kind of putting it all in perspective, right? How hard you work to get to that point. So definitely a special moment for everyone who gets to that point and is able to hear their name called on draft day.
Nice. All right, so now I got a couple of questions for you guys specific to the 2013 season. So first question is, describe your preparation and your thoughts that you had during the 2013 season.
I can take that. I think the 2013 season was we won in 2011. In 2012, we were actually were the hosts of the Minto Cup, and it was a very disappointing year. So we kind of snuck into the Minto and then really didn't perform well in it. So 2013, Dan's a 92, I'm a 93, and Ryan's a 94. So our 92s with Curtis Knight and Graham Hossack and Alexis Book and Chad Tutton, and that was those were our guys. So we knew we had a great team. We knew we had a chance to win it all. So I think, it was just buy in, work hard. There was great leadership, great coaching, and it was a long process, but it just worked out for us.
Nice.
You want us all to pitch in on these? I mean,
sure. Yeah.
From I guess a prep perspective, it was just a whole year type of thing for us. Like we were such a tight team. It was just fun, and everyone kind of just loved being at the rink, and if we weren't at the rink, we were probably all doing something together. So just being around each other for, an entire summer, 5-6 days a week was pretty special. And I think it really helped us from a team perspective. Like Riley said, it's one of the hardest championships to win, and it's definitely a grind, especially, going to 7 in the last series there with Six Nations. That was probably one of the best lacrosse series I've been a part of.
Cool.
But it was just a lot of being together and knowing what each other's tendencies and all that type of stuff was. It was just a tight knit team, which helped us out a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, there's always, a bit of a bitter taste when you come off a disappointing season. You kind of have that motivation going into next season. And we just had, such a great, there was so much confidence, right, in our team, just the amount of talent we had. And we just had that confidence, right, that kind of tight-knit bond. A lot of guys played together for years, so everyone knew each other pretty well. We also, had some nice young guys coming in and great coaching staff. So all the kind of pieces fell into place that year. So yeah, just a really good season.
Nice. Again, question pertaining to all of you about 2013. During the season, at any point, I mean, did you guys know that you could become Minto Cup champions again?
Yeah, I think so. It's honestly, we don't. The reason why I was so excited to do this is because we don't really get to reminisce and talk about this often. So it was a long time ago. Definitely some great memories, but you don't really always remember the little details of the season, and because it is a grind, right?
Yep,
Dan said,
certainly is.
I remember that game 7 like it was yesterday. I remember the Minto Cup in BC like it was yesterday. But like Ryan said, we were confident because we knew we were good. We had, like, again, Dan's age group was there wasn't many better, and we were deep. We had goaltending, we had scorers, we had defenders, we had role guys, we had everything. So I think we knew we could do it. That's for sure. So yeah, it was just a great team.
I mean, on my end, yeah, like we came into that year like there wasn't really another option for us. It was our last year, as the 92 group, and like Riley said, we had guys all over the place, whether they were younger, older, whoever they were. Everyone kind of pulled their own, and it was an all or nothing type of series or type of season, really. We came into it, we were definitely confident. Coming off the year before, like they said, was kind of disappointing. So we had a little bit of something to prove the next year, and we felt that from day one, and all the way through to September, whenever the Minto ended. We kind of went full force forward, and obviously we were able to pull it out, which was wicked.
Nice. Ryan?
Yeah, when you I guess when you have such a strong kind of last year group like we did that year, the 92s, that group, I know from a few years later that you're always going to have that extra motivation. So when you have, such a great age group of players that are all in their last year, it's going to give you such an advantage. And, we knew that year we were kind of having a really good season, and, Six Nations was good, and some other teams, with Orangeville and always in there, and Brampton coming up. But I think we were near the end of the season. We were pretty confident that we could make a real run at it and win the whole thing.
What was it about Nations that really was the focal point of that season for you guys?
I think they matched up well against us. I know they had kind of 2 elite offensive players, Randy Stats and Johnny Palace, who carried them, who were high end. They were well coached, so their defense was good. They had a tough defense, and they had good goaltending. So, and it was always a battle going into Six Nations trying to get a win. So, they were just a great team, and they matched up well against us, and it literally took us to the last minute to pull that thing out. So, they were a phenomenal team. So, great matchup.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they were throughout the year, they're kind of the team that was, neck and neck from a standing standpoint, and we knew we'd have to meet them at some point. Obviously we didn't really look past anyone. We put our all out there every series, every game we played. But you look at Nash that year, it honestly could have gone either way. But obviously we wanted it, maybe a little bit more. But and we're able to pull it out. But they, like Riley said, they had a similar scenario, right? Like they had some guys that were in their last year, wanting to win a Minto. Maybe some of them never got the chance to, and that was their opportunity. So they were just as hungry, and they did match up really well against us. So it was definitely a battle.
Before you answer, Ryan, just like from Ryan or Riley and Dan's perspective, and actually Ryan, maybe you can jump in on this too. What was it about Nations that was the overall, or like the team to beat? Like you guys said that they were a good matchup against you guys, but what was it? Like what was the main point, or the main I guess the focal point that was Whitby against Nations?
I mean, I would just say talent wise, it was off the charts. Kind of looking back at the amount of players just in that final series that are, playing in the NLL right now are high end players, right?
Yep.
It's pretty crazy to see that, and a lot of them are on Six Nations. So, it's kind of one of those things that you meet them in Ontario finals, but those are two teams. Either one could have won the Minto that year, but yeah, I don't know. They had just a ton of talent, top to bottom, and so did we though.
Nice. Riley, Dan, anything else you guys want to add?
I mean, in that sense, right? Like, it's not even just that year. It's, years prior and,
Mhm.
years moving forward, right? Like, there's teams that build rivalries. There's teams that build, tradition playing against each other. And, you'll see, the nation's Whitby, the nation's Orangeville, the Orangeville Whitby, those were, definitely some teams are at the top. Obviously, you got, all the other teams in the league or whatever it is, and not downplaying any other teams that have been there and won Mintos. But, it's just in our junior careers, that was kind of the matchups that we saw all the time, when it came to, the semifinals, finals. And, we knew we were going to have to face them at some point. So it was just sort of the way it played out. And it's kind of what we expected.
Nice. Now I'm going to jump into a little bit of personal aspect to it. I have some questions designated to all of you. So I want to start with Riley. Riley, what was it like to be a veteran on the team and to go into the season with the experience and use it to help the team win?
Yeah, I think it was great, being a veteran, and that's just kind of the maturation process of. I was very lucky to be on the team for 5 years and be around and learn from some other great leaders. John LaFontaine. In 2011, when we won, John LaFontaine, Mark Matthews, Shane Jackson, Adrian Sarketti, those types of guys that paved the way. Obviously, learned a lot from our coaches and just people in the organization. So it does mean a little more when you've got a bigger role in the team and when you are a leader. So and that's what made it so cool was there was so many leaders. Curtis Knight was our captain and if not our best player, but it was kind of we were by committee, and that's what made it so fun.
Nice. Next question I have for you is that, as you said, you were part of the leadership group. You were an assistant captain on the team in 2013. What was your leadership style and describe it?
Um, yeah, leadership style, I would say is, and Dan touched on it, and we would say this too, like we had a lot of fun. I think we worked hard. I think we knew when to work, and I think we knew when to have fun, and we made sure to enjoy those times. So I think it's just that balance, of knowing when to, be a little more quiet and just work, and then also when to
Mhm.
have fun and make sure everyone's incorporated. And I think that's again why we were successful, because everyone was bought in, and everyone was kind of pulling the rope.
Nice. Just to follow on that, like that leads to my next question is what was it like to be an assistant captain that led the Warriors to a Minto Cup title?
Yeah, I don't even kind of really look at it that way, because I feel like we had so many great players. I feel we had such a strong leadership group that I was just one of the guys, and I'm just happy to be a part of that. So I think there were so many guys that were leaders on that team, and I was just happy to be a part of it.
Nice. Uh Dan, your turn.
Alrighty.
Kind of same question. It's the exact same question that I had for Riley. You were part of the leadership group. What was your leadership style?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be a little bit more, uh, I guess, vulnerable in this scenario, and that I think we had a good core, right? Like, we had Niger, who was our captain, who's maybe not the most vocal guy, but he's probably like Rice said, probably was our best player and our hardest worker, and just kind of led by example. And then you had Riley over there, who was probably the stern guy. He liked to have some fun, but then you had myself. I might have probably been a little bit more on the trying to keep the morale a little bit more on the relaxed side of things. But at the same time, was serious when I needed to be. And then I think we had Tuts as well, if I'm not mistaken. And he's just like a vocal guy. You can't really shut the guy up. So, me and him both, right? It's just, if someone's talking, it was probably myself, which was good and bad. But just keeping guys engaged, I felt like was a bit of my style.
Nice. When did you know that this team could win another Minto Cup title? Was there a specific point, or was there any point?
I mean, just like at the end of the 2012 year and going into our training camp, I guess you can say at the start of 2013, we kind of knew what we were putting together, and we knew we had the guys to do it. So it was definitely at the start of the year. But like Ryan said, you get towards the end of the season and you're in a pretty good spot, and you kind of like, okay, we could actually, like, our goal was to do this, but we can do this. And then we kind of went into the playoffs like a new season and just attacked it game by game. And, obviously we were able to do it. So it wasn't really one point. We were always confident, but, near the end of the year, we definitely had, that a bigger feeling that we could, go and do it.
Nice. Last question for you, Dan, is that what aspect or aspects, if you had multiple, of your game did you change between 2011 and 2013?
Oh, I think you kind of grow every year as a player. I mean, I obviously not the biggest fella out there. So obviously maybe trying to put on a little bit of weight, but from like a skills perspective, I mean, just learning from, that 2011 year, we got to play with some of the best guys in the league right now. And then right now with, Mark and Shane and a couple of those guys, just learn and play with them, and you're going to get better. So, brought that into our next year, and then into 2013, I think, just developing the player I wanted to be from a little bit of a hard-nosed offensive player, trying to grind my way to a couple of goals. So
nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Dan. Thanks. Ryan, you're up. Same question for Dan and Riley. It's now your turn. You were part of the leadership group of 2013. What was your leadership style?
2013, I mean, I was kind of still on the younger end of that group, especially with all the older guys we had and the great leaders. So for me that year, I was still kind of able to just soak it in, kind of a lot of more of a learning experience. And kind of that was a year, I was kind of growing my game a lot more and just kind of able to focus on playing and, kind of be maybe a bit of a leader within the younger group of guys. But for the most part, it was, just a big learning year for me and kind of getting ready for next year to take on more of a leadership role.
Nice. So on that note, saying how you were part of the younger group. So in 2011, you were not only a Minto Cup champion, but you were a rookie on that team. So can you describe how that experience in 2011 motivated you to want to win another title in 2013?
Yeah, I mean, I actually didn't, I played a lot of the season in 2011 as a rookie, but I didn't go and actually travel and win the Minto there. We had a few players come back and just such a good team, obviously. But, knowing that experience and being buddies with a lot of those guys on the team, it kind of motivated me to really, push and kind of win one on my own and get it done a few years later.
Nice. So in 2013, you have already had 2 years of junior experience under your belt, and that you had that in your back pocket. Did you have anything you wanted to prove in 2013?
Yeah. I think I still had, a lot to prove as a player, production wise and kind of earning time on the floor, especially with such a talented roster. And years before, right, there was, my role was becoming a lot bigger that year. So, I had a lot to prove in terms of my production on the floor.
Nice. So So from that, how did you take the lessons that you were taught or learned as a rookie, and how did you apply that to your game in 2013?
Yeah, I just, you know, you always, whatever level you play, right? The best thing to do is just kind of, you know, just, go to keep quiet, go about your business and soak in as much as you can from the older guys. And I feel like that's kind of what I did when I was younger and kind of learned from guys like, Curtis Knight, as they touched on, John LaFontaine the years before, and just kind of soak that all in and try and learn from those guys who've done it before and won championships. And that's kind of the best way to learn to know what it takes.
Yep. Same question for Dan as it is to you. What aspects of your game did you change between 2011 and 2013?
Yeah, I think I was a bit of a late bloomer, especially in size and growing too. So definitely, I was in the gym a lot more, hitting the weights, and there was definitely a big difference in terms of my confidence out there going against, someone in Six Nations or Orangeville who's, twice the size of you. When a few years later, there's a lot more willingness to get into the middle and be able to push guys around instead of getting pushed around, right? And then just confidence as well. With that experience, you start shooting the ball more and having more confidence in your shot and your playmaking ability. And that was probably
Nice.
the biggest difference.
Nice. So now I have going back to questions for all of you, and this pertains to specifically the 2013 year, but throughout the whole season, and you'll understand what I mean when I ask them. So for all of you, can you guys describe what Nations was like that year?
Yeah, I think they were probably our biggest test, and just so talented and a deep roster just like us, right? So I think that's what it made them so hard to beat, right? And they've got a great culture, they got a great team, amazing talent who worked hard, right? And it was literally game inches, and it took everyone. I think it was a big performance from Mikey McDonald in Game 7, who got us two big goals late that really propelled us. But other than that, it was just two evenly matched great teams.
Nice. Dan, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean there's not much else to kind of build off on that, right? Like they were a great team. They had some great players, and it honestly could have gone either way. But we had something that night, perhaps. But throughout the year, I think they were at the top of the league majority of the time as well. So
Nice.
they were just a strong team with a great core of guys as well. And you're gonna run into that. Not everything is gonna be easy. So
Nice. So when you guys went out west, describe New West, Coquitlam, and Okotoks when you played them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think back and recall. I know we took on New West in the finals. Coquitlam's always kind of the team out there to beat. So it wasn't like in Alberta where there was two Alberta teams and one BC, which was Coquitlam. Alberta is growing, but they're still a little bit behind, I would say, in terms of the level of talent than Ontario and BC. So it was tough. There was obviously the Okotoks was a good team, but especially Coquitlam and New West, they were strong. And it's hard because we come off such a high, playing Six Nations where we won, right? We celebrated that, but we had to quickly turn around, shift our focus to the job wasn't done. So it was just a lot of lacrosse in the summer, 4, 5, 6 days a week. And it just wears on you. So going out there and remaining focused and playing some great teams, it was a challenge. That New West team kind of gave us everything we had as well. So phenomenal competition that made it sweeter, right? We really had to earn it.
Nice. All right, guys. So now I got some fun questions for you about lacrosse and the 2013 years. So These are some of these are one-word answers. Some of them are short and sweet. So, can you guys describe playing junior lacrosse with one word?
Fun.
I was gonna say fun too.
Exhilarating.
Really good stuff, guys.
One word. It's got to be one word though. What do you got?
Think about it.
You got someone else?
I can't answer that. I've never played junior lacrosse. What did you guys do with your time with the cup?
Oh, that's a good question. How many extra days did we stay in BC?
I think we stayed there for 3 days after.
You guys were lucky. I had to go back to school. I only got a day.
Oh yeah. Learning.
We enjoyed it in BC. We obviously it's beautiful there. And Dan and I were roommates, so that was fun. But yeah, we enjoyed it. We took it around. We had some drinks. We just shared some laughs, but it was pretty special.
Nice. During the 2013 season, which one of you or who was it that was in charge of the music in the room?
I don't even remember.
Stanko.
Was it? Yeah, Steph
Oh yeah,
Dichenko.
definitely Steph.
Yeah.
It was definitely Steph. He
Huge beauty.
Dichenko.
man, he had some bangers for sure. You know, the Dichenko bloodline with his brother Nick as well. You know, they know how to work an iPod.
Nice. Who was the most underrated player on the team that year?
I don't know, like.
It's hard to say underrated now because the guys we would say are elite. Like you could say Graham Hossack was.
I was gonna say Haas, like
Defenseman of
you
the
know,
world.
he was kind of coming into his own at that point in time, but now he's arguably, if not the best defender in the game right now. So,
Yep.
I mean, we had a bunch of great players, but if I had to pinpoint one, I'd probably say Haas. Like,
Got it. Who on the team was in charge of designing the ring?
not us.
I
Thanks,
don't
Dan.
know who it was.
Were we not? Were you guys?
I think we had a little bit of, maybe you were left out, Dan. I think the players, some of the leadership group had some input. I think
Knew better.
I might have been involved. Who
Coach K
knows?
and yeah, Coach K and my dad were involved too. But yeah, they turned out great.
Nice. And where do you guys keep your rings?
Well, before I moved, it was in my room, but now they're down in the old storage. When I decide I want to, you know, finish the old basement and get a bar going down there, I'll get them into a little bit of a cabinet. But
Yeah, you will.
well,
Yeah,
maybe-
mine are just in my room, I think, on the nightstand.
Same with me.
Got it. All right, now I got a rapid fire round for you. So these are a series of fun questions, not pertaining to lacrosse whatsoever. So let's see how you guys do with them. Your favorite musical act?
Dan, you lead us off every time.
musical act.
Musical
that
act
even mean?
or a band or anything that's music or
Oh,
music.
okay. Here we go. I'm a big country guy. I mean, Luke Combs is legit, but
It's rapid fire, buddy. Hurry up.
okay.
You're Luke.
Luke.
Oh,
I'm gonna say the Arkells. Ryan and I went to a good Arkells concert recently.
Nice. Ryan?
I'll say probably Red Hot Chili Peppers or Kings of Leon, maybe.
All right. Your favorite takeout food?
Big Mac.
I was shocked you didn't say Wendy's.
Or a Baconator, one or the other. A burger.
Your favorite athlete growing up?
Oh, like a pro athlete for me. God, why is it so hard?
I would say my uncle Joe Noondike.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm a big LeBron fan.
I mean, were we growing up when he was the man though? Like,
I don't know, buddy.
anyways,
You didn't even answer.
All right. What's your favorite way to relax nowadays?
golf.
If you're golfing in
Fishing.
the winter, I love it.
Oh, I mean, this exact day. I don't know. I don't really get to relax a ton. I got a puppy, so she's, you know, a lot of work.
I would say watching a show. Ryan and I used to live together, and that's one thing I miss is we'd have our go-to shows. So putting on a good TV series and watching
Nice.
that.
Yeah, I would say probably fishing for me is my kind of getaway, relax, and get on the open water.
Nice. Last one. What's your favorite vacation style?
Cruise, but I mean,
All inclusive.
Some
Probably-
beach.
probably change
Nice.
that after this, but after the whole pandemic. But throw me on a ship, get me out in the water.
I'll keep that in mind. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end. So once again, I really appreciate the time, guys. I want to thank all of you each again for your time and your dedication tonight. And I hope that you guys had a lot of time reminiscing about your junior days. And good luck to all of you in your future.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See you.